This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Yesterday's aviation tragedy affecting many, including the local sports community. Many of you would know LeVard Manifest Parks as a talented gospel artist, but he was also one of the better all-around sportsmen to come out of Queens College. On the track, Parks held the Comets' senior boys, set the BAISS record in the 4x4 relay back in the mid-1990s, but his real love was on the basketball court, where he was the captain and starting point guard. Tonight, we are joined by LeVard's high school basketball coach, Tony Williams. And Tony, this is a tremendous loss.
Well, Jonathan, I'm shocked for words. When I heard that LeVard has passed, I couldn't believe it, because we had so many great times, and LeVard was one like a son to me. I had 6 years of coaching him from a junior to a senior in Queens College. I don't know what to say, but you know, so be it. I hope and pray that his family is doing well.
Now, Tony, back in the day, QC not known for basketball, but during LeVard's time there, he really gave you guys a spark, especially when it came to tournaments like Hugh Campbell. Yeah,
we entered the Hugh Campbell one year, and we was rated 32nd place, and apparently we finished 8th because we beat the team at that time was Government High, and the first game, and that was, man, listen, in Comic City, that was big news.
Now, it's no question athletes have a certain reputation, but LeVard, he was an exception to the rule. He was highly involved in the student Christian movement, and that almost foreshadowed what was later to come in life. So he really should be looked at as a role model to other athletes who don't have to follow the trend.
Well, Johnny, I just could share some of the moments. I would like to share one of the moments with you. I remember at one point we were 0 for 8. I'll never forget this. And we hadn't won a game. And we went to play, I think it was NCA. And vividly I remembered. And you know, before the game, we sat down and said, we hasn't won a game. We 0 for 8. You know, and LeVard said to me, Coach, don't worry about it. I got it. I gonna pray for this. And I said, LeVard, it's not about winning. It's about playing the game as a team. You know, we went out there and we beat NCA. And after the game, I usually have this plan that I pray after the game, or we get together and, you know, we talk about the game. And so when I went to make my dress, LeVard says, Coach, I got this. I said, why's what? He said, Coach, I got this. And he says to the team, he says, this is what God can do. He says, if you believe it, it's done. The Bahamas has lost a jam, a son, and a great pastor. You know, and I'm sitting here just holding up, but you know, LeVard calls me every other week and he says, Coach, what's up? And I say, LeVard, you know, I'm just trying to go with it. And so he said, man, Coach, you can't have a song down. This is what, you know, we got God on our side. So don't worry about it. Coach, I got it. I say, why you got it? He said, don't worry. Tomorrow can be a better day. So that's the type of kid he was.
Definitely a big loss there, LeVard Parks and all the others who perished on that flight yesterday. Our condolences here from ZNS Total Sports going out to everybody. And we want to thank Coach Tony Williams for coming in with us here tonight. Well, the Bahamas had two team sports qualify for the CAC Games, which gets underway in a matter of days. However, as Charles Fisher tells us, only one of those teams will be suiting up.
The ball will not be bouncing for Team Bahamas in Mexico, according to Vice President Mario Boleg, for many reasons. Timing is bad with a core of the better players in college or overseas.
To tell these guys come home now to represent their country when they need to take care of their families and others is, you know, it's just something that we cannot do. We've spoken to the ministry and to the BOA and advised them of our position and the players' position. Even when we tried to look at some of the local players here home, they were advised that they would have to take time off without pay.
Director of Sports Tim Munnings disappointed in the decision taken by the BBF.
We know that a lot of our better or more established basketball players are abroad. Some are on professional teams, some are in college. And for them to step away from their established programs is a cost involved. But it's not something which the government does. We don't have a per diem say. That's usually the responsibility of the organization which is running that tournament. And in this case, it's the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
As a matter of policy, the BOC does not pay or subvent athletes to compete for the country.
And it's simple for the BBF and its players. No funds, no game.
After being somewhat successful over the summer, it doesn't help us to go and find any 12 basketball players within the country now, locally, or just any 12 who is willing to go play, whether they obtain a stipend or not, to go and represent the country. That's defeating the purpose and just going and showing up. If the Bahamas wants us to take a team to just go up there and show up and play games, wasting money, then this basketball federation, not this executive, will be doing that.
Now get this, the Bahamas Volleyball Federation will also be sending a team to the CACs, and they are not making such demands on the government or the BOC.
When it comes to representing your country, it's an honor, it's a privilege. I mean, it shows how patriotic you are about representing this country. If every time we have to compensate an athlete to go and represent this country, we're in a lot of trouble.
The Bahamas will be represented by a 65-member team competing in 10 disciplines and will leave later on this week. For ZNS Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. Well, the Atlantis Theatre came alive on Saturday night with a private screening for the new Andre Rogers baseball documentary. Our Julian Gibson was there.
For Gina Rogers-Seeley, telling the story of her dad, Andre Rogers, was one she will never forget. But actually seeing the movie shown on Saturday night was an emotional one.
In the initial stages, I approached it as an assignment, and so I was able to keep my feelings, so to speak, at bay. As it got closer to completion, I had a few little crying sessions in there, I'm not going to lie. But tonight, I didn't break down. It was a bittersweet moment because he's not here to see it. But overall, I think I did him proud.
And with a number of well-known persons contributing to the Andre Rogers story, well, that caught Gina totally off guard.
They offered a whole different dimension to his life story. In particular, they saw a side of him that nobody here could tell me about. When he was here, he was a different person. You know what it's like. When you're abroad, they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So when he was abroad, he had different things to deal with. He was dealing with the racism. He was dealing with, working class, being in the working class in America. He was dealing with new, culture, food, everything. And I thought it was absolutely necessary to capture both worlds that he was straddling.
Michael Sweetbells Thompson, Andre Rogers. Who's next, Gina?
According to Minister Wilchcombe, it's Elisha Obed. That's going to be a learning experience for me, as was this one.
Now, as a token for all the work she put into the movie, Gina was presented with a photo of her dad. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I am Julian Gibson.
Thanks a lot, Julian. Now, in addition to the documentary launch on Saturday, ground was broken for the new Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium last Friday, and Prime Minister Perry Christie says this is just one more step in the master plan.
When we build the stadium, we're building other small fields so that when a college group want to come down and have a competition, they have more than one field to have that competition on. When they want to come down here to practice during cold weather, they're able to come down and do that. So we're creating this sports center, not just for Bahamians to have a center of excellence, but also for those who would be attracted to the Bahamas to come in and spend their money as a part of sports tourism. And that's what this is all about.
The New Providence Basketball Association opened up its new season over the weekend at the AF Adelaide Gym with a championship rematch, and not much change from the end of last season as the title holders, the Commonwealth Bank Giants, picked right back up where they left off with a 98-87 win over the Mailboat Cybots. This definitely wasn't the way the Cybots wanted to start the season, but Coach Wade Watson says better days are ahead.
I just think these guys are just a little bit more hungry than the team last year. I think we have a lot of guys who are willing to sacrifice certain things, or less is more they call it, and play defense. At the end of the day, we got 20 games to play. Take every game one game at a time. just try to play a little bit more focus on defense and try to increase team camaraderie. That's important.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Night comes back after the break.
This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.